Hi, my name is Brittany, and today I will be discussing America's failing infrastructure. Have you ever driven on a road like this? How have you seen potholes like these ones? I can't even imagine driving across a bridge as horrific as this one. Our country is filled with crumbling infrastructure such as these. It's a crisis all across America. You depend on these roads, highways, and bridges, and you need them to be safe and reliable for your use. I feel incredible to speak on this topic, as I am entering my 4th year as a civil engineering undergrad. Today I want you to learn why the dire state of our nation's infrastructure can no longer be ignored, and what you can do to help. I'm going to discuss how we know America's infrastructure is failing, share some worst-case scenarios, and provide you with ways to help improve the issue. Infrastructure is defined as the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities needed for the operation of society. The American Society of Civil Engineers back in 2009 published a report card grading the condition and performance of the nation's infrastructure. In the development of this report card, 7 fundamental components of infrastructure were considered, including these. The 2009 report card for America's infrastructure followed a traditional letter grade scale. The overall grade given to America was a D. That's right, a D. So what exactly does this mean? Well, if these aging structures go ignored for too long, the results can be extremely dangerous and even hazardous. In the article, The Infrastructure Crisis, published in the Civil Engineering Journal, author R. Reed highlights some major catastrophes within the last couple of years. Here you see is the 8-lane bridge in Minneapolis that collapsed in 2007. It took the lives of 13 people and injured more than 100 others. In July of 2007, an 83-year-old steam pipe in New York City exploded. It sent geysers of hot steam and debris spewing as high as the city skyline for nearly 2 hours. In September 2007, the Texas Transportation Institute released its Urban Mobility Report. This report detailed how congestion on U.S. roads is getting worse and worse. The current conditions force Americans to spend 4.2 billion extra hours each year in their cars. We have a huge problem. But what effect can a civilian make? Believe it or not, there is something you can do to help prevent such disasters. In the article Rebuilding America's Infrastructure, published in the Civil Engineering Journal, author A. Powell states a few of these. There is a widespread public support needed in order to increase government funding levels for infrastructure investment. The American Society of Engineers estimates that investing a total of $2.2 trillion would be needed over the course of a 5-year period to fix what's wrong. As you can see by this chart, less than half of the money needed is being funded by the government. So without voter support, there's no way we can reach the full goal. Support is also needed for the efforts to teach students what infrastructure actually is, why it's important, and what careers surround it. Our educational system is lacking. If students don't know what engineers do, they won't begin to think about becoming engineers. Without engineers, there's no hope in fixing our failing infrastructure. Education of not only the government officials, but the general public is needed as well. Education and knowledge are the first steps towards finding a solution. I hope you learned a little about our nation's failing infrastructure and what you can do to help. I examined how we know America's infrastructure is failing, shared some worst-case scenarios, and provided ways in which to help rectify the situation. This is an excerpt from President Obama's State of the Union address.
So much of America needs to be rebuilt. We've got crumbling roads and bridges. During the Great Depression, America built the Hoover Dam and the Golden Gate Bridge. After World War II, we connected our states with a system of highways. Democratic and Republican administrations invested in great projects that benefited everybody, from the workers who built them to the businesses that still use them today. I will sign an executive order clearing away the red tape that slows down too many construction projects. But you need to fund these projects. Take the money we're no longer spending at war, use half of it to pay down our debt, and use the rest to do some nation building right here at home.
I encourage you to take this information and go out and make a difference. Visit www.house.gov to find your local representative. Shoot an email telling them just how you feel and how you want to support the rebuilding of America's infrastructure.